What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And as you all know, for the past year, or even slightly more than a year, we've pretty much all been playing this one game, World of Warcraft Classic. And this channel has been dedicated to World of Warcraft Classic and pushing content that helps people grow in that field and helps them play at the highest level. Now, since the entirety of World of Warcraft Classic's lifetime, I haven't even really logged into World of Warcraft retail. Battle for Azeroth just wasn't an expansion that massively appealed to me, and something like Classic was a huge draw, and that's actually why I started the channel and the Twitch channel. But then Blizzard announced Shadowlands, with a level squish and a lot of ideas that kind of bridge the gap between the current versions of retail and things like World of Warcraft Classic, or even things like TBC, bringing back a lot of abilities and bringing back a lot of the feel of the original game. Now, that doesn't mean it's a lot like WoW Classic, but it does mean that this is a new game that I really wanted to dive in and see if it's worth giving a shot, and to see if us WoW Classic players should actually play World of Warcraft retail, mainly WoW Shadowlands. Now, of course, this does come with the caveat that Naxx is going to be released like a week after Shadowlands, which is a huge... Oh gosh, Blizzard, I hate that you did this, and I'm sure a lot of your employees themselves hate that you did this, but this is just something that's unfortunate. And then, of course, we'll probably move on to WoW Classic TBC, which I'm extremely excited for because that was my favorite expansion. But right now, let's dive in and see what's new in Shadowlands, or not really what's new, but what does it feel like for somebody who hasn't played this game in over a year to just hop in and try to get back into it. So with that being said, my name is Sarthe, and if you like this video, and if you want to see any more World of Warcraft Shadowlands content, make sure to let me know in the comments, and let's dive right into it. So there was one time that I actually logged into WoW retail within the lifespan of World of Warcraft Classic, and honestly, it felt so overwhelming just logging into my character. I had forgotten what all of these extra abilities were. I had completely different keybinds for some reason, and there's a lot of new things that were out in the game. My gear was completely underwhelming, so I just instantly logged off and just chalked it up to I should still play Classic. But then I logged into this Shadowlands pre-patch, and I had a semi-similar situation. The first thing I wanted to do was relive or relearn how to play my character in this version of the game. And to do that, I decided to actually level up a new version of a rogue. Now, I can honestly say that the leveling experience in WoW Shadowlands was kind of the most friendly leveling experience in all of World of Warcraft history, potentially. Now, this doesn't mean that it is hard or the most unique or the most authentic to WoW, but it really is welcoming for somebody to come back into the game, because you can level from 1 to 60 in something like 8 hours. The new leveling zone, Exile's Breach, was actually beautiful. There are a lot of tips they give you, and it's kind of based for someone that's completely new to the game, but it does let you level through this zone very quickly, about an hour to get through to level 10, and you all know here that getting to level 10 in World of Warcraft Classic can take more than an hour, that's for sure. And while you're leveling, one of the first things I noticed was that you can actually get a lot of the old abilities. Like every single level in that first 10 level span, you do get a new ability, and it's an ability that is very friendly. It's very familiar. Getting a new Sinister Strike or getting Eviscerate or something like that. It's very easy, and it honestly feels just like you're playing World of Warcraft Classic or any other version of WoW. It doesn't feel daunting or overwhelming. One thing that I had forgotten were the quality of life changes that come with WoW retail. Mainly, I didn't lose my combo points as I was switching targets or killed a target, and then also being able to loot one mob and it actually loots all of the mobs around you is something that I bet every single booster probably wishes they had, because it'd be so easy to just run the boost, level up your friends, and then just auto instantly loot everything yourself, or just loot the epics or blues. The next thing I remembered is that as you're leveling, if you played any of the last few expansions, you probably have this incredible gear called the heirloom gear. Now, this is really good gear that just makes it so you don't need to replace it until basically max level, and it levels up with you. It's extremely convenient, and it actually increases your experience gained, so it makes the leveling process more fun and more easy. You do feel overpowered. And then the huge thing, the big thing about the leveling process was that you're allowed to level through any of the expansions that you want. You could level through World of Warcraft quote-unquote classic, but a lot of the world has been changed ever since Deathwing actually just flew through and destroyed the actual zones. So it is a little bit different, but you can level through pretty much any of the expansions you want. I chose to level through Legion because I have never played Legion, and then on another character I started leveling through Warlords of Draenor because I also didn't play that expansion at all. So it was something like a quick, short, abridged version of those leveling experiences from those expansions, and it was really fun actually. Of course, the leveling experience wasn't the real goal here. It was to get into endgame content so that we can play in Shadowlands and to decide if we're going to play that game. Now, the leveling experience did help me actually get used to playing my character again, but on top of that, Wowhead actually has this incredible resource that I'll link in the description that has write-ups by well-known players of every single class, some of the best players of every class, that'll actually just break down exactly what you should do, what you should be doing with your talents, what gear you should be going for, or what your actual abilities that you need to use, your rotation, pretty much everything you need to know to dive right in. This is for Shadowlands pre-patch. This is for people that are coming back, and it is really, really in depth. So you're able to actually get really used to playing your character, no matter what the character is, right away, and then just pretty much dive into semi-endgame content. I did have some friends run me through some Mythic Plus keys, and I did do some LFR, so the raids, which was honestly a lot of fun, and I got some really good catch-up gear, and I'm starting to get some catch-up gear that's going to set me ahead as I start leveling in Shadowlands, because this gear will actually be higher eye level than these starting zones in Shadowlands. But on top of that, the Shadowlands pre-patch is out right now, and there's just different events going on, as well as a weekly boss and some timed bosses that are daily that can give you gear that's even better than the gear that you're going to get in the starting zone in Shadowlands. So the catch-up mechanics are there. It's really easy to start getting back into the game and just get to level 50 so that you can start pumping when the game actually releases and level your character up to level 60. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about, and this is a core and very important reason to decide if you should play Shadowlands or just stay with Classic, is the game fun? World of Warcraft Classic was a fun game. It's a huge community-driven game, and World of Warcraft Retail feels like you're pretty much playing alone. Unless you have friends, it's not the same aspect of this giant community. Although there are things like looking for group and looking for raid and such, which you definitely can get into these things and then possibly build friendships. But in all honesty, at first, you're really playing mostly by yourself. People don't really say anything if you join into any of these groups, but the community aspect is something that comes with playing this game more. I remember back in the day when I was playing and doing Mythic Plus, at the highest keys, everybody you meet and everybody you pug doing these is the same group of people, which means you do become friends with them. Guilds are still a thing, and obviously a massive thing for running Mythic raids, so the community aspect is definitely there, but it's less of the world. But the game itself, it feels a lot more fun to dive into this version of the game than it did to play Battle for Azeroth for me personally. I like the idea of being able to just hop on the game, get a group of 5 together, run some Mythic Pluses, and be done within an hour or 2 hours. And we all know if you're playing Classic, you can't just log on, get a group for a dungeon most of the time, and then do that, and then log off. Because one, dungeons don't really challenge you and don't give you anything really good. It's just the raid, and everything in Classic takes a long time. Even just getting to the raid or getting buffs can take hours out of your day. When in retail, it can just be a thing where you log on or a friend texts you like, hey, you want to run some keys? Or hey, do you want to do the raid? And you can just log on and do it right then. Now, these quality of life changes are incredible, and they're also something that a lot of classic players don't like because we all love the hashtag no changes. But there's something fun in the aspect of being able to log into both. Now, the PvP in Shadowlands is something that I have yet to test out, although I was playing a lot of the beta and I did do a lot of testing there. But from what I've watched, someone like Savix and Bonnie, anyone like Sea-Doo also, it looks like a ton of fun. It looks like they've squashed a lot of things where back when I watched one of the tournaments, one of the PvP tournaments, it honestly looked like a 30-minute battle, and that seemed like the lamest thing ever. Although I don't know if I'm going to dive super deep into PvP in this version or if I'm just waiting to purely PvP extensively in TBC, I do think I will test things out. Shadowlands does show a lot of promise for me, and I know there's a lot of issues that I didn't bring up because currently I'm really excited about the game, and I've been playing just with this pre-patch mentality that I think this game is going to be a blast. It's going to be something new for all of us, even though Nax is coming out around the exact same time. So what is my takeaway? What do I think? Should you guys play this version of the game? This is kind of obviously up to you, but if something that's holding you back is that things seem so daunting with so many abilities and you don't know where to start, this Wowhead article is honestly such an incredible resource that helped me feel comfortable playing the game again. Leveling up a new character was a ton of fun, and it's very easy to just do. You can hop on and do it at your own leisure. If your character is raid logged or you're just stuck getting buffs or something like that, you can easily do this, and it's just honestly a ton of fun. I will definitely be playing a lot of Shadowlands on the channel and uploading hopefully videos on Shadowlands if you guys tend to like them, where I'll get into a lot of detail once I get really good at pushing keys and pushing mythics and actually just doing a lot of damage. So with that being said, I think a lot of us are kind of purists where we only want to play one version of the game, but this is a totally new game that also has this incredible aspect of familiarity, and I kind of am really excited, and I think you guys should be also, or at least open to trying things out and seeing if you like the game. So from there, I know we're still in the speedrun weeks in WoW Classic, and in between that, I will be gearing up my character in retail, but I'll see you guys all on the next video. Of course, it will be another classic one, but I hope you guys end up giving this game a chance, and I'll see you all on the next one.